Life aboard U-boats was very hard. It was not only about excitement and tackling transatlantic shipping. Most of the time, U-boat crews performed duties such as equipment maintenance, checking the torpedo weapon systems, general upkeep, and other essential functions that maintained discipline and kept the men alive. The crew numbers aboard an U-boat varied greatly between the different types. A Type 7 U-boat had a crew of 45, a Type 9 had about 50 officers and seamen. No other vessel of war presented poorer living conditions than that of an U-boat. Each war patrol could take anywhere between 3 weeks to 6 months. During this time, U-boat crews were not able to bath, shave, or change their clothes. Menus were followed strictly to promote proper diet and a good nutrition. Breakfast would usually consist of coffee, buttermilk, biscuits, and hard bread. Lunch would be soup, potatoes, cooked meat and vegetables. Dinner included sausages or canned fish. Food storage was the responsibility of the Obersteuermann, or the navigator, who doubled as the quartermaster of the crew, and the cook. The navigator was calculating the amount and assortment of food received from the warehouse, depending on how long a journey would take. After that, supplies were loaded onto U-boats and stored in most suitable places. The food and beverage could weigh more than 10 tons inside the boat. Hams, sausages, and other preserved meats were stored between the forward torpedo tubes and also overhead in the control room. Bread was stored in the forward torpedo room, and fresh meat and produce was stored in the small refrigerator. These were the coolest places on board, but the products only lasted a short number of days. Once out of fresh food, the crew settled down to sausage and canned food, straining the cook's ability to satisfy the crew. Even going to toilet was no simple feat. There was only one toilet available until the food stuffed in the second toilet had been eaten up. With 40 to 50 crew members sharing the same single toilet, unpleasant emergency situations were sure to happen. Using the toilet was prohibited when stalking an enemy, as it was feared that the noise would alert the enemy to the presence of the U-boat. The crew of an U-boat is made up of specialists and seamen. Specialist crew members, such as the radio men, were responsible for the operation and maintenance of equipment aboard. Other general duty tasks, such as standing watch on the bridge, were performed by the seamen. Their workload was divided into several shifts, with the seamen working in 3 8-hour shifts, one for sleeping, one for regular duties, and one for other tasks. Standing on watch duty during stormy weather was frowned upon by the crewmen. The harsh environment of the North Atlantic meant that icy waves constantly swept over the conning tower, completely submerging the boat and the watch crew for brief periods. They were issued with special coats, but these did little to keep them dry. In addition, crewmen had little chance to dry their clothes during a patrol. Crew habitability ranked very low on the priority list of German U-boats. Fresh water was limited and strictly rationed for drinking. Washing and showering were not permitted, with all activities of shaving. Laundry being postponed throughout the entire duration of the patrol. They were allowed only the clothes on their backs and a single change of underwear and socks. To remove salt from their skin caused by seawater exposure, crews were issued with special saltwater soap, but this was unpopular as it left a scummy film on the skin. To control body odor, a deodorant was used. Privacy was basically non-existing for the crew. Only the captain was afforded any privacy. Made up of a simple curtain, it could be drawn over the captain's quarters, but he still could hear what was going on the outside. The captain's quarters was placed next to the control room and radio room, so he could quickly respond during an emergency. Long war cruises took its psychological toll. Moths would pass and there were no trees, no hills and no landfall where one could place his feet except on the deck of an U-boat. Except for the excitement when hunting an enemy ship or when being hunted themselves, crews passed time by listening to a record player built onto the boat or by playing cards. Captain Wolfgang Lüth went to as far as organizing a lying competition where every man on board had to participate. This took place when he undertook the longest war cruise of any U-boat, lasting over 6 months, patrolling the Indian Ocean.